Salam and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English Basics for Beginners. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We are now starting with chapter number 104, Surah Al-Humazah, the one who slanders, comprising 9 verses. We're looking at a summary from Maulana Sayyid Abul Ala Maududi rahmatullah alayh from his tafsir, the Tafhim al-Quran, the meaning of the Quran. If you want more detailed explanations, please refer to Ma'arif al-Quran over 8 volumes. All commentators agree this is one of the earliest surahs to be revealed in Mecca. Let's look at the theme. In it, some of the evils prevalent among the materialistic hoarders of wealth in the pre-Islamic days have been condemned. Every Arab knew that they actually existed in their society. They regarded them as evils and nobody thought that they were good. After calling attention to this kind of ugly character, the ultimate end in the hereafter of the people having this kind of character has been stated. Both these things, that means the character of that person, the evil nature of the person, and the ultimate fate of that person in the hereafter, have been depicted in a way which makes the listener automatically reach the conclusion that such a person fitly, deservedly needs to meet such an end. And since in the world people of such character do not suffer any punishment but seem to be thriving instead of the occurrence, it seems to be thriving, hence the occurrence of the hereafter becomes absolutely inevitable. The thing that springs to mind is the people on the other people on the Epstein file. Remember, there's not only one Jeffrey Epstein, there are millions throughout history. If this chapter is read in the sequence of the surahs beginning with Az-Zilzal, one can fully well understand how the fundamental beliefs of Islam and its teachings were impressed on the people's minds in the earliest stages in Mecca. In Surah Al-Zilzal, it has said that in the hereafter, man's full record will be placed before him, and not an atom's weight of good or an atom's weight of evil done by him in the world will have been left unrecorded. Then in Surah Al-Adiyat, attention was drawn to the plunder and loot, the bloodshed and vandalism, like how we are seeing in the warfare today in the 21st century, prevailing in Arabia before Islam. Then making the people realize that the way the powers given by God were being abused was indeed an expression of sheer ingratitude to Him. They were told that the matter would not end up in the world, but in the second life after death. Not only the deeds, but as well as the intentions and motives would also be examined, and their Lord knows fully well which of them deserves reward and which of them deserves punishment. Then in Surah Al-Qari'ah, after depicting resurrection, the people were warned that in the hereafter, a man's good or evil end will depend on whether the scale of his good deeds was heavier or the scale of the evil deeds was heavier. If your good deeds are heavy, you get your book of deeds in your right hand and you go to paradise. If your scale of evil deeds is heavy, you get the book of deeds in your left hand and you go to hell. In Surah At-Takathur, the people were taken to task for that materialistic mentality, because of which they remained occupied in seeking increase in worldly benefits, worldly pleasures, worldly comforts, and positions and name and fame, and competing with one another for the abundance of everything, just accumulating more and more things, hoarding everything, without worrying about the poor or the orphans or the needy, until death overtook them. Then, warning them of the evil consequences of their heedlessness, they were told that the world was not an open table of food, a buffet to pick and choose whatever they please, but for every single blessing that they were enjoying in the world, they would have to render an account to the Lord, cherisher and sustainer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as to how they obtained it and how did they use it. It doesn't matter whether you're an honorable member of parliament or a pope or a president or a king. If you have misused, if you're a criminal, your criminal activities will be exposed. Then in Surah Al-Asr, it was declared that each member of every community, each group, and each community of mankind, even the entire world of humanity, was in total and abject and manifest loss. If its members were devoid of faith, if you did not have Iman, if you don't have La ilaha illallah, your time on the planet Earth is a total waste. But you must combine that with righteous deeds and the practice of exhorting others to truth and patience and sabr. Immediately after that comes this particular chapter called Surah Al-Humazah, in which, after presenting a specimen of leadership of the pre-Islamic age of ignorance, the age of Jahiliyyah and darkness, the people have been asked the simple question: what should such a character, what should that person deserve if not loss and perdition? Certainly, the evil people of the world, the people of Jeffrey Epstein and the people on his list, certainly deserve loss and perdition because of the harm that they have committed on the people. Certainly, people who have been elected into positions of power, whether they are people in the government of South Africa or on the African continent or in China or in Europe, anywhere in the world, if you are misusing and abusing public funds, surely you must be held to account by that, by the supreme creator of the heavens and the earth, God most merciful. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.